We are surrounded by a variety of different people, things, scenarios, environments every single day. And in those environments, in those people, in those things, we often find ourselves having to protect ourselves in a way in terms of our peace, whether that be via masking or being stubborn or being angry or being whatever helps you remain calm in the scenario. We often act a part in order to protect our peace. And many times that part does not involve us being happy. And in fact, it involves us being pleasant to others around us. And that does not always correlate to happiness, which is a problem, right? When you truly protect your peace, you're really not going to be pleasant all the time. You're going to be happy, or you're going to be unpleasant because you're standing up for yourself. You're being respectful of others, but you're standing up for yourself. You're controlling your emotions, but allowing them to process and come out in a healthy way. And doing that is not always pleasant to others because for many people, it puts them in uncomfortable situations, gives them uncomfortable feelings, makes them see you a little bit differently. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. But at the end of the day, you can't really be happy and pleasant all the time, every day. That's just not going to happen. You have to pick one or the other, and depending on which one you pick, it'll impact how well you protect your peace. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about what it really means to protect your peace, how that correlates to being yourself, and everything else that goes into that. So without further ado, let's begin. Hello, beautiful people, beautiful souls, beautiful flower children, or tree huggers, or bacteria, which I guess we all are bacteria, or stardust. Anyway, my name is Keyshawn Nunley. I am the owner, founder, and designer of all things Chasmic, Desist, a clothing brand dedicated to illustrating mental and emotional health issues through art and poetry, while also providing my own unique thoughts and experiences on how I heal and how I believe that it can help you heal. Now, like I said let me start over. First and foremost, I would like to apologize for not putting out a video recently. There's been a lot going on in my life and I just couldn't get around to it, but I'm here now, so it's okay. But like I said in the beginning of the video, this video is going to be about protecting your peace. Really goes into that, what it means, how it correlates to being yourself, and everything else that goes in between the lines, basically. But before we get into all that, I would like to implore you to explore the Chasmic Desist website. Now, once you go to the website, you'll find a blog, shirts, hoodies, designs, poetry, cool videos, little secrets hidden here and there. You'll find all the photo shoots and different ways to heal, different processes. And sometimes I hold giveaways. I really think it's quite interesting site. You can find all my social media there. You can find the YouTube videos there. You can find everything that you need there, except maybe a dog. I don't sell pet stuff or children's stuff. That's just not what I do. So if you like mysteries, if you like poetry, if you like learning about different perspectives and experiences on how to heal or how to view different things, then Chasmic Desist is for you. That website is for you. And if you have any questions, there's always submission forms. I will read them and respond to them if they are reasonable enough to respond to. So without further ado, let's begin. So for my first point, this is actually the wrong point. Well, I can actually reiterate this. So my first point says you can't always be happy and pleasant at the same time. Sometimes you have to be unpleasant to be happy. So that really comes down to being yourself. Now, everyone's not going to like you, and that's okay. Not everyone is going to be respectful of you, and that's okay. People have control of their own emotions. They have their own free will. They can do whatever they want to do, but you are always in control of you. There should never be an instance where others have power over you and how you feel. And if you allow them to influence you in a way that makes you feel unpleasant because you are not being yourself, you are not protecting your peace. Now, when we are children, we are always, with good parents anyway, with good guidance, we're always taught to be ourselves. We're always taught to be the best version of ourselves, to be healthy, to be respectful, like just like the general stuff. But a lot of times, life happens. So we, as children, as we get older, we develop these mindsets and these tendencies that allow us to fit in without standing out too much, because standing out too much, in your case, and in my case, and many others' cases, makes them feel uncomfortable because they don't feel welcome. They're stared at, they're looked down upon. There's a myriad of things that they feel because they're not given in an environment that allows them to be peaceful with being themselves. And unfortunately, when that happens, we develop these masking tendencies, these acting tendencies, where we act out different versions of ourselves that may or may not be who we actually are, may or may not be different aspects of ourselves. And that's not a happy place to be. That's not a good place to be. So when I talk about protecting your peace as it pertains to being yourself, you want to be able to be yourself. So be strong, be confident, stand firm in your beliefs. Obviously, change your beliefs if they're not rational and if they need more development. But believe in yourself more. When you are able to do all that, you are protecting yourself against projections. Right? You are protecting yourself against outside influences that are trying to dictate the way you act in order to make them feel comfortable. But in reality, you should always be uncomfortable. You should always be comfortable, rather, even in uncomfortable situations. That means standing up for yourself, being angry when you need to, processing all of your emotions, avoiding situations that you're not supposed to be in. But if you are in a negative situation, exiting that situation, so that way the people or things that are causing you to be there don't have any power over you. Because at the end of the day, protecting your peace always comes down to making sure external things and people and situations don't have power over you. Because when you allow them to do that, because it is an allowance, you give permission to things to influence you. When you allow that to happen, you're putting yourself in a hole, and that hole is very hard to get out of, and it causes you to develop tendencies to experience trauma, to mask and act, which is not what you want. So at the end of the day, in order to protect your peace, you can't always be happy. You can't always be happy and pleasant. You can't always be pleasant all the time. You have to be able to understand when you're supposed to be happy, which is generally all the time. And with that, you can't always be pleasant, because the two and two don't go together, because you're not going to always be pleasant to certain people and things when you're happy, because you may put them off or whatever, and that's okay. It's about you. This is your life. Your story is unique. Your experience is unique. Everyone's story and experience is unique. Their thoughts and mindsets are unique. Some people are followers, but that's another story for another day. But that's the crux of what I'm talking about, which also brings me to my next point. Like I said, everyone is unique and special in their own way. Their experiences are unique and special in their own way. And you alone have the power to allow other people and other things into your life, right? If you allow people to trespass into your field, into your space, that's on you, right? If you allow them to stay there when they trespass, because you can't always control how people trespass, that's also on you, right? Now, I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do. It's a skill. Being able to protect your space and protect your peace is a skill. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. But it is an essential skill that can be taught, that can be learned. You can be surrounded by a mass group of people that supports you. You know, when it comes to learning how to give permission to people to enter your space, and learning when to give permission to people to enter your space, and learning when to deny people permission to enter your space, that is a skill, right? And it's a very hard skill to learn. As children, if you're not lucky enough to learn it, it's very hard to learn it by yourself. That's why it's always important to surround yourself with a good group of people that have your best interests at heart. Now, when they have your best interest at heart, they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to be honest with you. They're not going to sugarcoat things. They're going to be respectful of your feelings and your emotions and your thoughts, but they're going to tell you how it is because they care about you. And that's what you want. You want people to care about you in a way that sometimes you don't even know how to care about you. For you, rather, you don't know how to care for yourself in that manner, which is incredibly interesting and important, because that group of people, those situations, you naturally let them into your space because they felt good. They kept you at peace. And that's how you know when you're learning to give certain people and things permission to enter your life, and knowing when to deny it, is because it comes naturally. It naturally feels good when certain things and people enter your space, into your life, and make it even more unique and make it even more special. If you intuitively feel that certain things are not for you and certain people are not for you, follow that intuition, which is also a skill, but is a necessary skill and is relatively easy to learn if you allow yourself to think a little bit more, to process a little bit more, to absorb your environment and the things that are going on within your environment, to understand which experiences are not for you and which experiences are for you. But you can only do that when you know how to be yourself. You see how I'm wrapping this all together about being yourself, because that's really what it is. You can't protect your peace without being yourself. So be strong be confident. Excuse me. Continue to upgrade yourself in a way that elevates your level of understanding, elevates your thought processes, elevates the people and things around you, elevates your emotions, because that will only strengthen how strong your protection is, how strong your shields are, how strong your fort is. It's incredibly interesting when you think about it. It's like psychology, but also physics. It's a lot of things. it's a lot of things. So that brings me to my next point. Yeah, mindsets matter, right? The way you perceive the way you perceive things, the way you're able to discern things and rationalize what's going on and logically come to a logical conclusion. That's a skill of itself, and it requires a particular mindset that many people do not have, because they're either ignoring their emotions or ignoring their thought processes or ignoring things around them because they don't want to accept reality. But other times it is because people are going through a lot, and they're allowing thoughts to influence them, things outside of them to influence them, internal obstacles to influence them, which isn't, that's okay, it's understandable. But it is very important to surround yourself with people to see things on the brighter side of things, which is easier said than done. And you can do so by going to therapy or practicing meditation or going to church or whatever you need to do to feel supported enough to be comfortable changing for the better, right? But that is a mindset. That is a mindset, and mindsets absolutely matter. And when you are also protecting your peace, it does not necessarily mean shutting everything out, right? Because a lot of people, when they get depressed or they have anxiety or they have certain episodes, their immediate mindset to protect their peace is shutting everything out, shutting everyone out, which is not healthy. What that does is that just isolates you, and that isolation just accentuates the feelings that you're having because you're not being supported. When you put yourself in that space, that already means you are unable to support yourself in an effective manner. So in turn, that means you need a more stable foundation. You need a greater support system than yourself. So when you're learning how to give permission to people, it's really important to not shut everything out, not shut everyone else out, because then you will miss important lessons, important things, important people, important experiences that help mold your mindset into something greater than you could have ever imagined before. Right, and doing that is a sign of respect for yourself, because in turn you will, set healthier boundaries. You will keep certain things and people at a distance, and keep other things and certain people at a closer distance. Right, it's a learning experience. And I keep saying that's a learning experience because it is. Excuse me. It is something that when you do accomplish in terms of being able to do it effectively and consistently, it will make your life so much better and so much easier. Before we continue with this video, let's take a journey through the Chasmic Desist website, where I not only had the chance to take all of your money, but also show you guys what it really means to be part of this beautiful community of ours and grow together. When you go to the website, you'll be met with all the new happenings, different pathways to explore your inner reality, like your inner song, how you harmonize, and even how you gift yourself. We'll delve into what our roles are, my own subconscious and brand updates, each design's unique poetry, illustrations, and even how you can illustrate yourself. You'll find chances to win something and even realign yourself if you ever get lost along the way. Now to my next point. Yes, so while you're learning how to protect your peace and learning how to understand how to allow certain things and people into your space and when to not allow certain things to people into your space, you may be isolated, and that's okay. Now, being isolated does not necessarily mean that you're by yourself all the time. It just, maybe you move. Maybe you are separated from your group of friends for an extended period of time, just physically. Not, like emotionally or mentally, you may be communicating with them. But there are times when you have to just be still and listen and observe. And that can only happen when you are isolated, which is a really interesting experience, because at first it feels like you did something wrong, and you didn't. It's just that you have to go through this isolation to learn how you really feel, how you really think. And you can only do that when you're by yourself. To a certain extent, obviously, if you need to talk to people, please talk to people, talk to a professional. But even a professional will give you certain things to work on by yourself, certain ways to perceive things, certain ways to organize things and compartmentalize things in your brain to understand your internal and external world better. Right? And that's okay, because it needs to happen in order for you to learn how to better protect your peace again and again and again and again and again and again and again. It's not easy, but it's a very rewarding accomplishment when you're able to overcome that difficult process, because it is difficult. It is difficult, but it is always worth it in the end. And now my next point. Man, this is okay. This is actually my last point. And that means this hopefully is a quick video. So my last point is a question. And this should always be a question you ask when certain situations make you uncomfortable and force you to make a decision on what you should and should not be. How safe would the child version of yourself, aka your inner child, feel if they were with you right now? I'll ask this one more time. When you come across a certain situation or thing, or you're looking at where you are in life and how peaceful you are and how that level of peace affects how you do things and what environment you're in. When you look at all that and you observe all that, how safe would the younger version of you, your inner child, feel with you at that very moment? Will they be scared? Will they be happy? Will they be sad? Will they feel unseen? Will they feel uncomfortable? Will they feel angry? And I'm asking you how your inner child would feel, because that's when lots of trauma happened. That's when you are at your most influenceable state. That is when you're easily molded by a lot of things. And when your inner child is healed, it makes life a lot easier. When your inner child is not healed, it shows up. It shows up on how you respond to things. It shows up in how easily and how often you shut down. It shows up in how you move through life. If you're always scared or looking around or trying to make everybody happy, being a people pleaser, or always angry about something, or you don't respect yourself, you don't set proper boundaries, excuse me, it is because your inner child does not feel safe. It is not healed. And that's not what you want, obviously. But this is a question you have to ask yourself when you are determining the level of peace that you are at. Now, for me personally, I still have my traumas and I still have negative behaviors, but I'm at a certain level of peace where my inner child does feel relatively safe and comfortable and feel seen, and I feel calm, and that's what you want. Now, I've talked to lots of people. I did some therapy, mainly I meditate, and I try my best to surround myself with a support system that allows me to be me and gives me the space to learn, gives me the space to be at peace. And if I ever find that somebody or something does not create a peaceful environment for me, no matter what methods I use to create peace, then I've learned to exit. I'm gone. I just tell them how it is and then keep moving. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you who I am at this point in time. And I'm still learning though. I am still learning. And obviously I have my faults. There are times when I struggle with that, but my ability to recognize where my hurt is coming from, which is usually your inner child and some other past versions of yourself. My ability to determine where that source is has helped me really learn how to be at peace, protect my peace, because I can identify the source of conflict within myself and talk to it and reassure it and understand why it's thinking that way, why they're thinking that way, and why they're taking certain actions to influence me. And once I'm able to do that, I can move forward with serenity, with tranquility, with the mindset of, I'm okay. I'm in an uncomfortable environment, but I'll be all right. And that is a pretty healthy mindset, I would say. So just bring everything around. Protecting your peace means being yourself. It means understanding when and where to do things and when and where not to do things, while also understanding how to give permission to people and things into your space, into your field, into your thoughts, and when to deny those things into your space and how to do it. You understand your security system, basically. Because that's what it is. It is a security system. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna stop saying and. Therefore, at the end of all that, you will realize that it is okay to be unpleasant and happy at the same time. It is okay to not always be pleasant. It is okay not to always be happy. But it is never okay to never be yourself. Now, you can act out different versions of yourself, like the healthier versions of yourselves, and depending on who you're talking to and what audience you're around or what environment you're in, just because you know how to move through certain places in order to maintain your peace in a healthy manner while also being yourself. It's just playing your different personalities, playing the part of your different personalities, which is really interesting. But it's a great experience. It's a great process when you are able to always be yourself, because you will always remember that you are strong, that you are confident, you are not weak. You have enough power over yourself and your actions that other things and people can never really influence you. And bringing that all together, you embody something that your inner child will always be safe with and always be proud to be a part of, because the inner child is you. They will always be proud of the person they will become, and you will always be proud of the person that you are becoming, of who you are at this present time. That's what it means to protect your peace. That's what it means to set healthy boundaries and respect yourself. That's what it means to live with the greatest love for yourself. I guess that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please check out the website. Please comment down below any questions or thoughts you may have on this video. Lots of things are happening in the world, so please be safe. Please surround yourself with great people, great things. Do not let the negativity influence you. Think for yourself, come to your own reasonable conclusions, and move forward effectively. Move forward with love and respect and with healthy boundaries. So that without further ado, I'm gonna end this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you soon. Hopefully nothing else comes up to derail me, which it shouldn't. So, love you all. Stay beautiful. Continue to be surrounded with love. And peace. Later.